everyone, I hope you're doing so well and welcome to this oil painting time lapse and a little chat about Redbubble, the advantages and disadvantages. Also, thank you so much for wonderful comments on my last video, and I will see you with my final thoughts at the end of this video. Hello everyone and welcome to this oil painting time lapse. I do hope you enjoy it, of this oil painting of this enchanted forest and magical river and all these incredible things going on in this landscape. So I do hope you like this video, and if you like this painting, there is a print available at Fine Art America and the link will be listed in my description box. I thought I would make a video talking about my experiences selling my art on Redbubble, because I think this may be useful for any artist out there who has considered uploading their work on Redbubble. Because when I started my journey on with art and selling art and things, I wasn't even aware of this website. But now, of course, Redbubble has grown over the past few years so enormously. And so now it has become so huge that I thought I would talk about my experiences. And this will be helpful if you have considered uploading, but you're not sure. And so this is kind of like my advantages and my disadvantages. And I'll also come on camera at the end of this video to just sort of wrap everything up, and also to state whether I think you should upload on Redbubble or not. So my experience is basically a few years ago, I happened to be at a party and I was chatting away with one of my cousins, and he is very, very creative. And he mentioned to me that he really liked my art, which was obviously very nice to hear. And he also started talking about how I should put my designs on Redbubble. And I hadn't actually heard of Redbubble at that time, but I just said, oh yes, thank you, that sounds great. And as soon as I got home, I looked up what Redbubble was because I thought it sounded really interesting. And it was essentially, or it is essentially, a print-on-demand type of online store. Now it is so famous, but then it wasn't really that well known. And even though it is famous now, I'm sure there are people out there who don't know what it is, because unless you're somebody who does kind of a lot of internet shopping, you may not necessarily know the website. So it is a print-on-demand store. Basically, as an artist, an independent creator, you upload your design. So it could be anything. It could be a photograph or a scanned image, a high quality image, as high quality as you can get, of your artwork. You scan it in or you photograph it, and it will then be placed on all of Redbubble's products. And you can then decide what products you wish to sell your design on. So usually when you've uploaded your design, it will appear on products such as stickers, prints, mugs. Oh, let me see if I can get all of them. I won't be able to, but t-shirts, leggings, bath mats they do, masks they now do as well, because they're very sort of on trend, shower curtains, duvets, bags. You can also get clocks. I don't think you can get shoes yet, so maybe that will be in the future. I'm trying to think of some more. Goodness me, there are so many items, and actually the stock is growing all the time. Leggings as well, leggings. I think sweatshirts or hoodies, dresses. So the list goes on, but those are the types of products. And you then mark which ones you want to sell, and your art, once you have an account, of course, instantly goes live and becomes available to the mass public to purchase. So it is an incredible concept, and there are many print-on-demand websites now that do this type of thing. But Redbubble is growing massively in popularity, and I think it's probably one of the biggest now. I think partly the reason is they have an extremely easy to use interface. And also it's a very fun website, because not only do you get products that are, created by really amazing artists, you get a mixture of products. So you can also get things like memes, you can get anything that's very on trend and very current. And artists will be constantly designing products to appeal to the market at the moment. So you'll get a lot of popular images, popular memes, and anything that is going on right now will be products on Redbubble. So that is the great advantage of it. It's great for artists, and it's great especially if you are somebody who wants to sell your designs but don't have the ability to create them yourself, in the sense that you don't have a printer where you can create prints, or perhaps you find the idea of perhaps posting them is a difficulty because it isn't easy to always keep up with the demand. If you suddenly have a lot of demand and postal orders, having to manage all of that as well as creating the art is a very difficult juggling act. And so obviously going for a print on demand site is going to be where it's at if you are somebody who you are aware will find it more difficult to cope with that kind of pressure, because it is pressure. So those are some great advantages. They're also Redbubble, the products. I've ordered products from them before to give as gifts to people or for my own personal use, and they are very high quality. I find that with many of these print on demand stores, they do have very high quality items. So, what are the disadvantages? Now, the disadvantages are, like the advantages, many. Unfortunately, because Redbubble has grown so much, this can be seen as an advantage and a disadvantage, because now the competition on Redbubble is enormous. There's also a disadvantage if you are a traditional artist to start up with this type of website. So my art obviously is oil painting, so it's very traditional, and it's not the type of art that necessarily would has a mass current appeal. So as I said before, Redbubble is a site that works very much on current trends or design, so logos and things like that. But otherwise, it's more on current trends. So anything that's trending will start to get a lot of designs after it. And if you're somebody like me who creates sort of meaningful, symbolic fantasy or surreal art, that's not necessarily particularly current unless it happens to trend with something that's trending, but it's very unlikely. So it's the type of art that possibly appeals to people who want to buy prints. And I would say that Redbubble is much more geared towards t-shirts and sort of logo designs. So if you're a designer, Redbubble is going to be where it's at for you. And I think if you are a designer, you should be uploading your products to Redbubble. There is also another massive disadvantage to Redbubble, probably the biggest out of all of this, and that is the percentage of money that goes to the artist when you make a sale. And unfortunately, the percentage that you will receive from selling your designs is so tiny, to the point of it actually being microscopic. If you're selling a small item, something like a sticker, for example, I just remember selling something on Redbubble. I think it was a sticker, and I remember getting something like 10p or something. No, it's more than that. I think it was like 50p or something. And that's because that Redbubble, like all these print on demand sites, they do all the manufacturing and the sending out of the product themselves. So unfortunately, the disadvantage of that is you will get very little profit out of it. They give very little to the artist, despite the fact that it is your designs. So this angers a lot of artists. And I know there are many artists out there who actually think that these types of sites are really scamming an artist, because ultimately you are receiving very, very little money out of the actual design, which is your design. You created that, you put in all that effort. So again, it's another question mark on whether you want to accept the small amounts of money that they give you per sale. Now, of course, it also means that you have to sell a heck of a lot to make any kind of real money. So if you're thinking you're going to start up with Redbubble and suddenly make like thousands of sales, I would say that whilst that does definitely happen to some artists, you have to be, I think, very fortunate, and also you have to work really hard at it. Hello, I just thought I'd come on camera and quickly clarify that I mentioned one of the lowest sales that I ever got on Redbubble was 50p for a sticker, when in actual fact it was actually 2p and it was for a sticker, but the amount I received from Redbubble was sadly 2p. So as I mentioned in my video, I think the biggest disadvantage to Redbubble is the amount that you get paid, because whilst there are videos on YouTube about people making thousands of dollars on Redbubble, it is because they're selling lots and lots, I mean thousands of their designs. And because Redbubble is such a vast platform now, there are so many artists on there, it is actually a lot harder to get ranked in the search. So say for example, if somebody is looking for a particular design, saying they're looking for a cat, and if you create beautiful cat designs, cat designs are some of the best in the world, unfortunately it can be so difficult to be found on Redbubble because there's already, the Redbubble platform is already so flooded. The whole thing about the payment on Redbubble is hilarious, because when I get a sale from time to time, and it's certainly not a regular thing, but when I do get a sale on there, I get so excited because you will get an email notifying you've made a sale, and it's like, oh my goodness, I made a sale. And I would race on there and have a look, and literally my payments are they'll be listed, and they're all in this big table, and I would see my payments, and it would be things like 10p, 50p, 2p. And so it goes from elation to this crushing disappointment that while somebody has paid a lot to receive perhaps a hoodie with my design on it, the actual amount of money that is filtered down to me is such a small scrap. In conclusion, should you post your art on Redbubble? I would say absolutely yes, even if you fit into the category of myself, even if you're somebody who is a traditional artist and you've created all these art pieces and you think people are not going to look at my designs. But I always say you never know. And so yes, it is so frustrating, but I would say maybe upload a design a day or a design a week. At least keep it moving, at least try and see what happens. And if you start making sales on there, then you have cracked the code of whatever it is. You've cracked the secret of Redbubble. And if so, that is amazing. And obviously, if not, then don't feel disheartened. Try other print-on-demand websites. There are so many out there now. Yes, Redbubble is one of the biggest, but there are many other platforms you can try. And don't give up, because there will be a platform out there that will suit your particular style and that you will reach your chosen market. So whilst Redbubble may not be the one, it's certainly worth giving a go just to see. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know your thoughts on Redbubble, and please don't feel sad if you have not sold anything on Redbubble. As you can see, I have sold things and I am sadly not rolling in money. I will see you soon. Take care, guys.